So I sit here and I give my quote unquote hot takes every day. So what I wanted to do after the draft was take the temperature on the fan base and see what the hot takes that are coming out of Cleveland Browns fans are, not just about the Browns, maybe about the AFC North, hell, maybe about the NFL in general. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to react to some hot takes today, and we're going to see how hot y'all coming. Sometimes y'all don't be coming too hot with these hot takes. I'm going to be honest with y'all, right? Sometimes y'all be having predictions like that are reasonable. Oh, if the Browns don't have Watson for 8 games, they might not make the playoffs. Of course. Okay, that's not a hot take. That's not even close to a hot take. I need y'all to say some wild stuff when it comes to a hot take. And not just wild stuff for wild stuff's sake. We all believe in one wild thing, right? Like we all have it. One of us out there thought that Johnny Manziel would be an all-pro quarterback. One of us out here really thought that Deshaun Kaiser thing could have worked. Like we all have that one take in our stomach. Don't be afraid. Put it out there. Put it out there. Put it out there, y'all. But let's go into this first hot take. It's going to be from Alex, who says, we cut Baker, but Jacoby Brissett has the best 8-game stretch in his career, leading the Browns to 5-3 and becomes a hot trade commodity at the trade deadline. The hot take part of this is that Jacoby Brissett will ultimately have more trade value for the Cleveland Browns than Baker Mayfield. Which on the surface is a wild statement, but that's why it's a hot take. But in practice, is it possible? Okay, here's why it could. Here's why it couldn't. Reasons why it could be possible. Jacoby Brissett is on a $6 or $8 million deal. Now, granted, Baker Mayfield is technically on an $18 million deal. But what people forget to mention whenever they say, hey, there's 18 million reasons why Baker Mayfield isn't traded, is one, $18 million is not much if you think your quarterback's good, right? If you think the quarterback's good, $18 million is not a steep price to pay. It's actually a bargain. That's why the Browns did the 5th-year option, because they thought Baker would be decent enough to justify it if they couldn't find an upgrade. But last year happened. Then you have to also take into account that the Browns have been willing to pay some of the salary. Now, how much of that's up to debate. But more than likely, anything serious would be the Browns would be willing to take at least $6 to $8 million of that salary, reducing it to about $10 to $12 million. Like that would be what a team would more than likely take on if they traded for Baker Mayfield, which is right along the lines of a Case Keenum, which is right along the lines of a Jacoby Brissett. And they were able to trade Case Keenum at $8 million, $9 million a year for a 7th-round pick. Right now, if they are being reasonable with that number, which I would have no reason to assume not, given that the reports are out there that they've been willing to reduce the number, then, this is the writings on the wall when it comes to why you can't trade Baker Mayfield right now, because nobody really wants him or desires him that much. When it comes to Jacoby Brissett, right, what is his ability to be a trade commodity? Now, it's difficult because, again, Jacoby Brissett's on a 1-year deal, which means that you will be trading for a rental that's going to get really expensive. I think there's a better possibility, and I don't know how the comp picks work. If I'm wrong, let me know if you're a cap guru or whatever. But if Jacoby Brissett has a really good 8-game stretch and signs somewhere to be a starting quarterback for, let's say, $15 to $20 million a year over 3 years, so about 3 years 60 or 3 year 45, somewhere in between that range, don't the Browns get a comp pick for that? If the Browns do get a comp pick for that, then that's incredible. But yeah, it is possible that the Browns could get compensation. And ultimately, if you add up the compensation that they could get from Jacoby Brissett and Case Keenum, that could ultimately be more than what they could get for Baker Mayfield. And right now it is, because they ain't got squat for Baker Mayfield. And it's looking really realistic that they ain't ever going to get nothing for him. All right, the next question comes from Tamsy, who says, Jakeem Grant will be the Browns version of Tyreek Hill. Now, Tamsy, I appreciate that you understood the assignment when it came to this video, but homie, what? Why can't dudes just be fast no more? Right? Like, this is what I mean. Why can't dudes just be short and fast no more? Every time there's a short and fast dude, we can't wait to put Tyreek Hill name in our mouth, knowing good and damn well that there has been a plethora of 5'7", 125-pound dudes in the NFL that ain't been Tyreek Hill. There's been one Tyreek Hill in all the years of football. There's been one. Why do we think every short dude that can run fast is going to be Tyreek Hill, man? I like Jakeem Grant, and Jakeem Grant's going to catch a couple deep balls. And I bet when Jakeem Grant catches a couple of deep balls, people are going to be like, ooh, that's Tyreek Hill. But Tyreek Hill does that like 3 times a game. It's different. It's different, man. It is different. Now, Jakeem Grant's going to be a great piece to this team. He's going to return some kicks. He's going to catch some balls, but he ain't going to be no damn Tyreek Hill. But I appreciate that you went there because that was much more entertaining to react to than some of the other hot takes that we sometimes get that are mild at the end of the day. So I appreciate that you was willing to go there. But damn, man, we can't let people be short and fast no more. We always got to make them Tyreek Hill. That's a recipe for disaster. Next hot take says, Baker never plays a down in the NFL again. Wow. We've gotten to this point. We've really gotten to this point. Now, has Baker made people around the league hesitant about him? Yes. Has Baker rubbed people around the league the wrong way? Absolutely. I don't even know how you could deny it at this point. But has it been to the point to where teams feel like they can't take a chance on him? No. I think this is about the rest of the league's need to make Baker feel humbled, right? I think there is a large percentage of GMs that like what he can do theoretically on the field enough to where they might take a chance on him, but they feel like before they can even get to that point, he needs to be drastically humbled. And if you think you need a humble dude, you're not going to trade anything for him, right? So, I think this is the league humbling Baker Mayfield and telling him about himself. I don't think this is the league saying never again, right? This isn't a Johnny Manziel situation where dude was an absolute mess, right? This is a different one where he's just a jerk, and you can get away with being a jerk in the NFL. But he ain't a complete mess. So I'd say Baker plays another down. And, another hot take from me, I think Carolina, maybe Seattle, and we could throw in some other teams. I could think in the long run, you could say Indy might regret not sending the Browns a 5th-round pick to secure Baker Mayfield and have control on him when it comes to franchise tag and all that. I think he'll be somebody that's going to be a top 15 quarterback in the NFL that can play and have some bad seasons and also have some good seasons in between there. But like Matt Corral, I wouldn't take that bad over him. Matt Ryan, I understand. But Drew Lock and Matt Corral, like you going with that over him, like especially Houston when they went with Davis Mills over him. Now Davis Mills has shown some potential, but I don't think he's above getting competition. I don't know. I feel like the Browns will never regret trading Baker Mayfield or getting rid of Baker Mayfield just because I think Deshaun Watson will be an upgrade in every single way, and they'll be a much better team because of that. I think the Browns have outgrew what Baker Mayfield can do for them at the quarterback position. But I do think some of these other teams that, are sorry, not really good, are going to regret doing that because they could have been decent, but now they ain't going to be decent. Predator Magnus says Kenny Pickett. Oh, wow. Hold on. Let me put this on screen. Predator Magnus says Kenny Pickett does not play a down for the Steelers this season. Now, I think Kenny Pickett stinks, so I don't have a problem with this take, but it's hard for a 1st-round pick not to play, right? Especially when the only thing that's keeping you off the field is Mitchell Trubisky. Like, I know Mitchell Trubisky isn't terrible, but Mitchell Trubisky is not like a dude you worry about keeping out there, right? Let's say the Steelers are below 500. They might just throw Kenny Pickett out there just to see what happens. You know what I mean? So I think he does play it down for the Steelers this year. I think it does happen. Now, is he going to be good? I have my doubts. But we will see if Kenny Pickett is going to be good in the NFL. I have expressed my doubts clearly enough over the last few weeks. All right, the next question comes from AM, who says, despite struggling up and down with quarterback play, the Steelers will manage to finish third in the division, and the Bengals will have a big slump post-Super Bowl defeat and finish fourth. This is just Tony's burner. This is Tony Serino's burner. I know a Tony take when I see one. This is just what Tony's been saying. Tony has been on this kick, and if you don't know, Tony Serino is who I do AFC North talk with. He has been on this take for quite a while, saying that the Steelers are not going to finish in last. They will finish in third, which I feel like if the Steelers finish in third, somebody's getting fired. Now, this person thinks that the Bengals are going to be the team that has a post-Super Bowl slump. I will say this. I do think it's likely that the Steelers do finish in third place because they're not a terrible team and they're competent at the end of the day, and competence wins so many football games in the NFL. I think it's likely that either the Browns, because of the Watson situation, whatever happens with that suspension, if it happens, and I don't know. I would say the Browns or the Ravens at this point. I don't see the Bengals becoming like terrible. Like, I think we just say that because they're the Bengals and we don't expect them to be this good for this long. But there's no way you look at that roster and think the Bengals are going to be trash this year. I mean, like, there's no reason to believe it other than like folksy, like non-football related reasons. Like, this is more or less based off of people's feelings or inklings. But again, that has a lot to do with people just not wanting to believe in the Bengals because they're the Bengals. But the Ravens and the Browns, if you look at it from a more objective standpoint, I would say have the highest possibility of like having a complete collapse and finishing in last place, because the Ravens did it last year. And I mean, like, I love the Browns. Y'all know I'm a Browns fan, but come on, man. Y'all know we ain't never been better than doing some stuff like that ever. So, that could happen. All right. Is that all the hot takes? Nope. We got another one from Mark R, who says Trubisky takes the starting job. Pittsburgh goes 6-0 in the division, takes Pittsburgh to the AFC Championship only to lose to the Browns 10-7. Come on, man. This is cap. This is so much cap. There's no way you actually believe this, Mark. I'm not going to believe that you believe this. Trubisky takes the starting job and sweeps the division? Nah, I'm good on that. That ain't happening. All right, Devin DLC says Ravens are going to have roster problems and be last in the division while Steelers end up being a genuine contender. Could happen. I don't know. As much as we make fun of the Ravens and the bad offseason they've been having, let's be real here. The Ravens ain't going to be no 8-win team this year again if they healthy. Like, they're going to win like 11, 12 games. Like, I don't see where the Ravens are going to be a bad team. They're not a bad team. They just haven't made the steps to be a contending team, which might ultimately get them third place in a loaded division. But I don't think they're going to be a bad team. I find it highly unlikely with what they already have on the roster. All right, Luke with a hot take here, who says AJ Green will have the most interceptions on the Browns this year. Now, he's clearly referring to AJ Green, the cornerback, not the wide receiver, for those of you who are confused. And will he have the most interceptions for the Browns this year? Nah, I know why it wouldn't be Denzel Ward, because people won't throw towards Denzel Ward. But if it ain't going to be Denzel Ward, it's going to be Greg Newsome, right? Or maybe somebody in the slot. But I don't see it. It would be tough because AJ Green has to beat out Greedy Williams for one of the boundary spots, and then he might have to beat out Martin Emerson for some rotational boundary spots, and then it would just be a hard climb for him. I would love if that happened because I like AJ Green, the player, AJ Green the third out of Oklahoma State. But do I think it's possible or highly likely? I doubt it. But those are your hot takes. Thank you guys for asking them. I love reacting to them. Y'all have a great day. Have a good night.